Okay, so we got new updates today for Horizon Forbidden West. We got update 1.14 and 1.15 that came out at the same time. Update 1.15 didn't really contain anything all that interesting. Update 1.14 gave us a lot of new stuff. So, first and foremost, they added the New Game Plus and Ultra Hard difficulty modes, which I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. I'm not really a fan of New Game Plus or Ultra Hard difficulty modes myself, but I certainly don't mind having the options. They've also added a few new trophies, one for finishing New Game Plus, one for Ultra Hard mode, and one for collecting all the weapons, dyes, and face paints in New Game Plus. So that gives you an idea of what kinds of new things you can expect in New Game Plus. I had noticed at one point when you're upgrading your sharp shot bow, one of the ammo types is for like an elite sharp shot arrow, and there are no elite sharp shot arrows in the game, so I was expecting them to add something like that at some point. I'm sure there will be an elite sharp shot arrow now that you'll get through playing New Game Plus. So a couple of other things that they've added. They added a respec functionality. So now as you're going through, you can respec your skills. Obviously, this doesn't help me here because I'm at the end of the game. I have all the skills purchased. But if you go into a skill tree, now you'll have an option. If you hit the options button, you can reset your skills. You see down there in the right corner of the screen. And it looks like it doesn't cost anything to respec all of your skills. Which I'm not okay with. I don't have strong feelings on that either way. I'm okay with them charging a little bit to respec skills, but I'm also just fine with it being free. And I think being able to respec your skills is always a good idea. So that's nice. So the next thing they added is they mentioned something called Transmogrification. And that's all they said, is they added Transmogrification, and it took a little while to figure out what this was talking about. Transmogrification, the definition of the word is like a magical change or something like that. So what this is, and this is kind of a good thing. So now in your outfits here, if you look at any particular outfit, you have an option here for apply look. And you see down at the bottom, if you press triangle, it will give you apply look. And you can do this for any option or any outfit. Now, what this does is it's going to make it so that if you have a different outfit equipped, but you have the look applied from this outfit, you're going to stay with this look. So now, even though I've got the Utaru Warden outfit equipped, when I go out of here, I'm now going to have it's going to look like I'm equipped with the Nora Tracker outfit. I think this is a really good change. This is something that they needed. So personally in the game, I was not willing to use any of the outfits that are not Nora outfits, just because for story reasons, everybody's always referring to Aloy as a Nora when they see her. So if she's dressed like a Tanakh or an Utaru, it just didn't really make sense. I don't really like the look of a lot of the Utaru and or Utaru and Tanakh gear. I prefer the look of the Nora gear. It just makes more sense for me to have her look like a Nora. But this is really nice because some of the other gear, like this Utaru Winter Weave, is just a better outfit in basically every way compared to the Nora Tracker outfit that I've been using. It has more skills. It has all the skills that the Nora Tracker has and more. And of course, it's got better resistances. I don't really care very much about the resistances. I just don't get hit. So, but the skills are nice. Having some added skills are nice. And now that I can keep the look of the costume that I want, and I can use this Utaru Winter Weave or any other costume for that matter, you know, because I might want a costume that gives me bonuses to melee combat for some part of the game, and now I can have that and still have the look that I want on my character. So that I think is a really positive thing that they've added, although it's not meaningful for the gameplay. This is just a cosmetic change. So then they say they've added a new data point near the Isle of Spires on a broken building. I haven't found that yet. The patch was just barely released. The interesting thing here, though, is that none of these data points, none of these have changed. Like the number of data points hasn't changed. So I've actually found all of the games on all of the data points on one playthrough or another for everything except for the text world data points. But I had counted up the number of data points of every type that was available, and that same number of data points is still available for every type of data point. So I was kind of expecting that one of these had changed. So I'm interested to see when I find this or when somebody finds this, where they're going to put that data point, because it doesn't look like they've opened up a new slot for a new data point from what I can see. So let's see, other changes. They've reduced the cost of crafting for traps when you're at the workbench. This is a very positive change, and I assume this just has to do with this workbench expert skill. This reduces the cost of crafting ammunition if you do it at a workbench. And this will be even better for traps. It's something they should have had in the game to begin with, I think, and I'm glad they added that. Let's see, other things. They added a hold option, a hold toggle option for the pry open. So when you have to pry something, rather than holding the button, you can go into the settings and change it so you just press a button and it would count to pry something open instead of having to hold the button. It's a really minor thing, doesn't matter much. Then they've done a couple of nerfs. One of them is the Resilient Trapper skill. Now, this is one of the few skills that I actually didn't have all of the stats written down for this, because it's just not a very good skill. Resilient Trapper makes it so you take less damage from your own traps if you set off your own traps. And just don't set off your own traps. I've never, ever ran into one of my own traps on accident. The only time I've ever done it was when I was testing to see how much damage I would take with Resilient Trapper. So, but they made it so that, and I think this is kind of unfortunate, a little bit petty, honestly. These guys love nerfing stuff. But it used to be if you got this skill up to level 4, you would take no damage from your own traps. It would reduce the damage by 100%. And now they've changed that so it reduces it down to 85%. So you'll only take 15% of the damage if you set off your own traps at level 4. Now, getting a skill up to level 4 is a huge, huge cost in this game. You can only have so many skills at level 4. So I would never waste one of those skills on this Resilient Trapper skill. So it just seems really petty to me for them to have taken the time to have nerfed that skill. But whatever. Nerfer's going to nerf, and these guys love to nerf. The next one that they nerfed is Braced Shot, and this was one of the best skills in the game. And actually, after I finished the game for the first time, I turned to my buddy and I said, I will bet you money that at some point they're going to nerf this Braced Shot skill. And they did. And they nerfed it bad. So it used to do, when you had your bow maxed out, it used to do about 1,000 points of damage, maybe around 950 points of damage with this Braced Shot. And now, about 500. So you cannot even kill an Apex Bristleback with that skill now. So they nerfed that pretty good. You can kill a normal Bristleback. So honestly, though, I mean, that skill uses a lot of stamina, and with the nerf that they did, I just don't even think that skill is worth using anymore. There are much better skills. That skill was it was just expensive before, and it's expensive still, but now it just doesn't do very much. So that's unfortunate, but as I said, it's very expected. That was one of the best skills, and I thought that they would nerf that right from the beginning. So it is nerfed. All right, so, and then, they have a bunch of other various changes, mostly improvements to little glitches in the game, progression glitches and things like that, but nothing else that's really important to changing how the game works. It's mostly just adjusting, fixing things. So, tell me what you think. Do you like these changes? What other changes would you like to see in the future?